Oh yeah. Let me start booster as well. Now that we're actually here. Yeah, see, this is why normally you have to actually declare your race first in case people do get it confused. But yeah. Anyways, we do see BurrowRush off racing as Orc. Spawning in the bottom left is our purple Orc, BurrowRush. He looks to be going likely harass, but it could also be Blade Master into creeping the trolls would be most common for this altar position. And then on the other side, our yellow night elf Panikrocker going standard. It's still have to see whether it is a demon or a keeper, but very unlikely to see anything else. And BurrowRush is going headhunters. So, more likely Farseer harass as opposed to Blade Master creep. And we do see the Farseer. And it is a demon hunter for Panikrocker, which can be pretty strong against Farseer. But if you do position your Farseer properly, get some blocks off as the demon hunter tries to reach your backline or your hero, you can actually put quite a lot of damage on him and just render him a bit ineffective. But if you run into a demon who has purchased boots and you miss one of those blocks, he can easily just start to get a lot of damage in and you will find yourself running a lot. So it's it can be a tense situation at the start. Now we do see him coming straight across. It's possible he goes for the trolls first, but it does look like he is indeed just going to harass. And I like this play. I think it's pretty strong. You don't necessarily kill any wisps, but there's always the chance you do, and maybe even multiple. You can oftentimes prevent the elves creeping. That, however, is not what you want. Do not keep your wolves that close together. To be fair, his wolves weren't even that close, but Panikrocker just got a really nice detonate off, hit both of them, picked one off instantly and picked the other off before the resummon. And he got, I believe, 2 burns off already too. So very good for Panikrocker. We might see another Deto here. We do. This wolf also picked off, and that's actually a lot of XP. That's like 80 XP already for our elf. Now, it's definitely not good for our orc player so far. You don't really want to give a demon hunter 80 XP. But he did get a couple detonates and did force like all the wisps to kind of pull off the trees for a little. So the wood for the elf could be a little low in the long run. However, it likely will not matter enough compared to DH just having plus 80 XP or whatever that was. Yeah, we see him likely just going to get one more set of wolves off. Needs to be a bit careful here with the headhunter. DH looking to chase. Does get his set of wolves off. Another wisp coming in. You definitely don't want to give more XP, but at the same time, if this wisp dies or gets detoed, you know, that's even has even less wood mining for the elf. He does, however, swap the wisp and the mine, and should be able to protect this one as well.
The player's forces are under attack.
Good job by Burrow to get this wolf back before it gets picked off. And the harass is just about done. We might see one more set of wolves, but he does need to get another 15 mana before a burn comes off. Our elf player, however, has been a little lacking on buildings. He is now putting up Hunter's Hall and Wonders. The Wonders is interesting because it actually uses another Wisp up, which means he's mining a lot less wood now. Moonwell also coming up. Does get his where did the Farseer go? Oh. Does get his another set of wolves off and uses a clarity. And it looks like he's going to keep the pressure again. This will actually be pretty good. I'm not sure if it was his intention, but when he didn't see Panikrocker building anything yet, you can kind of know he's going to be building something when you show up again, because you know he needs those. The next Moonwell, he needs Hunter's Hall, and he manages to cancel the Moonwell, which is very crucial. Panikrocker is blocked at 28 out of 30, cannot even get his second hero, and he still needs to start a Moonwell somewhere. If he wants to be safe, maybe somewhere here. Yeah, decent play by BurrowRush to get that. He is still a bit lacking on his creeping and XP, and he is going to get creepjacked here by a Demon Hunter who has quite a bit of XP himself already. BurrowRush does get the XP of the level 4 troll, but the item goes the way of the demon. A second replenishment potion, which actually can be pretty strong in this situation, because you oftentimes actually want to bring your demon in, get some burns off, attack what you can if there's anything weak, and then pull back and heal. But you know, having these can actually be pretty good for that without having to use your Moonwells up. BurrowRush looking to protect his shop. This elf army is actually pretty scary for him though. The wolves are of course strong still against archers, but the positioning here is actually really awkward for the orc player, especially with these forest trolls there kind of blocking the way, potentially ensnaring. And we do see Panikrocker committing to the shop, does get the kill on it. Speed scroll coming out. Not sure if he'll be able to get much use out of this speed scroll. Might be able to snag that one archer kill, but he is becoming the focus of the demon now. However, the demon is also weak. There is one damage upgrade on the headhunters already, and he will just have to pull back. Now we could see him use like one well and then replenishment the rest. That could be pretty strong, and that is what he is doing.
A player's forces are under attack.
It's always good to get some use out of that. Keep your wells up, because it will be daytime. Or I believe it might actually be daytime. It's just artificial night right now. Yeah, BurrowRush trying to get some of the creep steal here. Gets a hex on the DH. I think Shadow Hunter against DH is a pretty good choice second, because of hex. Being able to stop him from getting mana burns off, as well as dealing a bunch of damage during the hex, can be pretty huge for the orc. He is going straight tier 3, setting up a new shop, getting fortified as well, and he does have 50 food available. Hex coming out again, some more focus fire, and the DH dropping quite low again. Might have to get out and use the other replenishment potion. Maybe just the Moonwells this time. He does have one lore set up and a protector to defend, but I believe he still wants to reach the center and buy a tavern hero. And he just hasn't been able to because BurrowRush is kind of defending the center. Yeah, we're nearing the point where Panikrocker needs to preferably get something done here before the orc army is just too strong and levels too much. If we start seeing the Farseer reach level 3, it gets a lot scarier. Level 2 wolves can put a lot of damage in. We do see the second hero come out. It is going to be the Alchemist. Acid Bomb can help a lot, and Heal Spray as well can be very crucial against Chain Lightning as well as wolves. One Headhunter picked off, Panikrocker looking to chase, Hex coming out and return fire on the DH. It is dropping a bit low, but he should be fine, especially with the potion. And BurrowRush is just losing a lot here. Just not strong enough to fight off this elf army. Demon Hunter is actually pretty good against Headhunters. Once you have enough backup army behind him. Because the army you're facing has to either focus the Demon Hunter himself, which is a bit inefficient because of him being an agi hero, lots of armor, decent health pool, or you try to focus the archers and the Demon Hunter just keeps, you know, shredding your army instead. It's just not great for our orc player at the moment. He is backing off. He did lose some headhunters along the way. The one bright side he has is he is tier 3 already. He should have Berserker queued up sometime soon. He has not done so yet. And he's getting a defensive tower actually. I'm not sure if I agree with it. I think with just burrows and your army, you can kind of turtle a bit and be fine against this. You do have to, however, not fight out here because this elf army is actually quite scary. And Demon Hunter will shred you out in this open area. So getting some chip damage in with his burrows should be BurrowRush's plan here. Does need to load it up though. Otherwise, yeah, this Demon Hunter is doing a lot here. Farseer getting surrounded, a little bit mismicroed, ran into the archers, and we do see our orc army starting to crumble a bit. There's not much left. With this tower and peons finally loaded in the burrow, he should be able to defend, but he just doesn't have much right now. Still needs to start producing again, get Berserker form, get more Headhunters. Should see Berserker form coming now. Maybe even a third hero. Our orc player has hung on, but it's not looking great for him so far. Still just building up Headhunters. Definitely do want to get that Berserker form at some point, but I guess he probably has some time. One little archer, kind of forgotten. And we see MGs from our elf player. His tier 3 is still quite a ways away though, so that MG is actually pretty vulnerable until you get hardened skin. So if he attacks too soon with it, it might just start dying pretty quickly. However, with how strong his Demon Hunter is at 3.5 already, it's likely still fine for our elf player. As we can see, he's marching right in. Orc, just not strong enough at the moment. Still a level 2 Farseer, did not get his levels. Shadow Hunter, being focused down. Dropping below 100 health, does have a greater heal, but you really don't want to have to use that here. And yeah, our elf player just going in again. He's already got 2 upgrades on his archers. Headhunter going down, and yeah, there's just not enough damage on the orc side to deflect this attack. So I think at the start, well, first of all, Demon Hunter pretty decent, I think, against Farseer. I don't believe we saw boots, which can be one of the really powerful things against Farseer, but he still got his effectiveness off, just running in, getting some burns, dealing high damage. And our orc player just suddenly ended up getting overwhelmed in the long run. It'll be interesting to see what BurrowRush opts for here. If he decides to creep at the start and get his own level 2. Or if it's another instant harass. And if he does instant harass, does he also bring a peon scout at the start to potentially pull the creeps or disrupt the lightning shield? It'll be interesting to see what BurrowRush does, especially because he's not an orc main. He's an elf main, so could see some different play here. So far though, looks to be a somewhat safe Ancient of War position. Can also put it over here to be safer. And the orc side, likely headhunters again. Yeah, we do see a war mail instantly. I believe you oftentimes actually get 10 wood first, or put a peon on gold first actually, and then build a war mill. But probably not a huge deal. Likely to see Farseer again. I think he will just go for the instant harass as opposed to creeping, especially because he's currently not setting up a shop and he still needs to set up a barracks with his wood, so he just won't be able to effectively afford a shop so that he can heal after this. Elf player, on the other hand, is going Keeper this time, so this could work a little better for BurrowRush. Keeper definitely can still be strong against headhunters, but there's a requirement to that. You kind of need to hit level 3. And the problem with hitting level 3 with Keeper against a Farseer is that Farseer is incredibly annoying to deal with when he has a ton of wolves, and it can be quite hard. Do see the lightning shield pull, not the greatest. Creeps a little bit spread out,
Player's forces are under attack.
and the wizard is not really taking much damage yet. He is opting to do an early set of treants to creep the green a bit quicker. It does mean the treants will be taking quite a bit of damage, and one does go down.
The town is under siege.
But speeding up the creeping can be quite good, especially if your goal is just to get to the next camp, like the kobolds next. However, we do see BurrowRush in the base already, gets one wisp right away. Honestly, already a better start than last time. Forces a detonate as well. Wolf back here also getting a wisp. This is actually quite huge. There was 2 detonates. 2 detonates and a wisp kill. And that is going to set our elf player way behind. He's at 17 food currently.
Player's forces are under
And
attack.
even though he has the wood and gold to tech, he just detonated another wisp and he needs to start producing more wisps. So our tech for the elf is delayed heavily at the moment. There is another option though. He could still just tech and then purchase a shredder. But you have to just decide what you think is best for you as the elf player. And yeah, there's another wisp. So our orc player BurrowRush getting a lot more done this time. It's actually looking quite good for him. The Keeper did get a bit of XP. I think he got maybe 2 wolves, or at least two of the wolves, but it did cost him like 3 or 4 detonates, and he also lost another wisp. So not bad for our orc. Now he does need to be a little careful. Actually picks up boots on the Farseer. I have seen this before a bit. It's definitely not common, but it can be quite useful. Particularly more against a demon hunter that buys boots as opposed to a keeper. But it can definitely still have value. Does lose a wolf here, and you don't really want to be feeding that XP, but he is getting quite a bit done still. Panikrocker has opted to tech, so he will need to purchase a shredder at some point. He should be aware that he needs the shredder purchase because, you know, he has 3 wisps right now. Definitely not ideal. Orc, on the other hand, is of course going headhunters. He does have one that's kind of just chilling there for some reason. Cancels the burrow, very nice. He did this last game as well, coming in after his harass timing and canceling the, you know, whatever the elf ends up producing, this case being the Moonwell. We do see Entangle coming out, and it can be quite strong here, even the level 1 Entangle when you have your army. Does get another headhunter, so big pickoffs by the elf here, and he reaches level 3. I think for BurrowRush he was supposed to have his army better grouped together and also have wolves ready, because you can actually turn on this and do a bit of damage, or at least drain the elf's moonwells. But now that he's lost these headhunters, it's actually quite awkward because now his army is just way too weak. He's only level 1, and he's not having a fun time with these creeps. A little bit of bash going on. The elf, on the other hand, still needs his 3rd Moonwell, still needs a shredder. BurrowRush is definitely far behind. However, Panikrocker is not set up for tier 2. He managed to purchase an alchemist, but he's at 17 wood and like no wisps. I see only 2 wisps on the field, which if BurrowRush manages to fight this off and just outlast for a while, he could still be in an okay spot. He can bring peons to fight because he has plenty of wood. And yeah, he has quite a huge headhunter count for himself now, even after all those losses. So not terrible. Just needs to get his creeping done, particularly level 3 Farseer. You definitely don't want to be this over-leveled, under-leveled compared to the elf, that is. But with the elf kind of stagnant for a while, you know, having very little wood, very little wisps, this could be an opportunity for our purple orc to make a comeback. Picking up some clarities. Do we see a second hero yet? We do not. Not sure if he'll stay solo Farseer for a while or if he's going to add in maybe a TC this time since there's no Demon Hunter. Alchemist getting some solo XP will be really good for our elf player. Yeah, BurrowRush taking some pretty nice creeps here. These 2 center creeps are pretty crucial. They're not too bad to creep with headhunters, and they're a decent chunk of XP. And then you can always retreat and creep something big on your own side after. He does want to hit level 3 before this fight though. He is speed scrolling in and does force the TP actually out of the elf. But this fight wasn't necessarily in BurrowRush's favor. He had to kill 2 archers to even reach level 3. So Panikrocker could have taken that. It would have been a bit messy, but with Entangle and maybe 1 set of Treants, he could actually be quite strong against this army. There's only 1 shaman, There's no second hero. There's no level 3 Farseer. The elf army is actually pretty strong. And as we can see, he is moving out quite far, actually. Looks like he just wants to get a creep jack.
The town is under siege.
But ends up not accomplishing much. Going for the shop now. We'll see if BurrowRush decides to defend. He doesn't necessarily have to. I think BurrowRush can just keep creeping. It'd be nice if he just took the shop right now, for instance. But he also should really get a second hero. You really want a second hero against archer mass like this, because hero abilities are one of your best tools to fight off mass range. Okay, we see a lore finally coming out. Panikrocker has managed to get enough wood to actually afford some stuff. He still probably needs some more wisps or a shredder. Probably just more wisps at this point. And then still needs to be able to afford tier 3. Which he did reach the wood count for it now, if he wants. Our orc player, on the other hand, has quite a few shaman, quite a few headhunters. He's almost 50 food, whereas the elf still pretty stagnant, and that's what happens sometimes when your wood count's so low.
A player's force
Is you end up just producing a ton of wisps, finally getting your buildings, and then you're just not really upgrading your army anymore. So he's still at 39 food, a bit behind. He does have good or decent hero levels. His alchemist hasn't crept as much as it could have. He kind of wandered around a bit for the last few minutes without getting as much done as he could have with the alchemist. Does force a TP here though, and I think, yeah, BurrowRush left the item there. Maybe forgot to pick it up before TPing, or just was worried about his burrows. Seeing a Tangle, nice purge to get rid of that. And some lightning shield coming out. Would be nice if the lightning shield went on his own wolves maybe. But honestly, this isn't terrible either, because the elf can't really afford with this sort of army to just run his lightning shield archers into the orc army. And with that chain lightning coming out, oof, oof, oof. Does manage to save a few archers, all with like 20 or less health, but man, that hurt. That hurt a lot.
Forces are under attack.
BurrowRush doing surprisingly well there. I do think he still wants a second hero. Like, imagine how strong a TC with Stomp and Lightning Shield on it could have been there. But as you can see, this army is still pretty good, especially with the 2 damage upgrades. And we should see Berserker form and Bloodlust coming soon. This, not ideal. You definitely don't want to give free mana potions to the elf, but I guess you can survive. He does, however, quickly get a tiny Great Hall and will have an expansion coming up. BurrowRush actually getting in a good position here. And with his wood being so high, he should be able to freely move over peons, as he has already done. And now he should be in a great position. I do still think second hero, maybe even third hero too. Get a TC plus a Shadow Hunter, or get like a Pit Lord or a Panda. You know, there's a lot of options that can be pretty good against what Panikrocker currently has, which is just archers and a couple MGs, or 1 MG. Yeah, this Wolf Harass can be pretty good. It's especially strong at denying expansions, but also pretty decent at picking off wood wisps. And as we know from earlier, Panikrocker has been suffering in his wood harvesting, so losing any of those wisps will be a big hit for him. He's currently only at 43 supply, and BurrowRush has started to break already and has his expo up. So looking great for our orc player. He does have Torn along the way. Still no Bloodlust yet, so he should queue up Master Training whenever he remembers. He does got Berserker already though, and 2 damage upgrades. Sitting pretty strong. There is Orb of Venom available, there is Hardened Skinned MG, but it's just 1 MG. It's a level 3 Keeper. Does get level 3 Alchemist now though. I think he detonated a wolf in his base. And we see an Entangle coming off. Purge a little late. Does get the 1 Headhunter pick off, but once the actual fight takes place here, this orc army is looking strong. We see another shaman coming out. Still didn't get Bloodlust, but I'm sure he will remember soon. His expo starting to pay off. And he even has it pretty well defended. So he can really just kind of turtle for now and just have his wolves deny any expansion from the elf player, and he should be in good shape.
Player's forces are under attack.
Now you don't really want to let the elf get lots of creeping done as well though. If we start nearing level 5 on like Alchemist and Keeper, that could be a little bit scary for the orc. As for the orc side, getting a TC or a Shadow Hunter and then creeping some of the remaining camps with it, such as even these ones here right outside his base to get level 2, could be very powerful for him. See what he decides to do. Actually getting Witch Doctor training, not Bloodlust. Not sure if misclick or if he's planning to add Witch Doctors first. And Panikrocker trying to do what he can. Looks like he's probably going to go creep the Merc camp, which can get him a pretty good item. Oof, that is expensive. That is really expensive. They do give an okay chunk of XP. He did level up to 4 off that, but 3 wisps is a very high cost, especially when BurrowRush already has an expo and Panikrocker does not. Don't believe we have marksmanship yet, but we do have 1 damage upgrade on these archers. 2 lures ready to pump out MGs at some point. And he's just continuing to get levels, which is pretty good. Actually uses the mana potion there. I thought he might just drop a sentry ward, but he was technically low-ish on mana, so not terrible. Wolves expiring. Now let's see what our elf player decides to do. Looks like he's breaking with 1 MG. Can actually... oh, I think he purchased something, TP or heal scroll. Otherwise he was close to being able to get another MG. And then waiting for those 2 MGs could have been pretty nice. Yeah, this orc army, definitely very scary. He does have Master Train now. Bloodlusted Torrents coming out. Chain Lightning right at the start. And now these level 3 wolves with no dispel are going to be very scary. Very nice to have an invuln there. Protects his Farseer. And these archers just getting ripped apart. That was, I believe, 4 archers falling. And I'm not sure if anything else fell. I think it's just the 4 archers. Or was it 5 archers? That may have actually been 5 archers. Unless one of those was like a shaman or something. But yeah, our elf player just a bit too far behind at this point. BurrowRush has managed to get quite an economic advantage. Getting his Farseer level 5 right away, also pretty powerful. And even OP MGs won't be able to hold this off in the long run. Chain Lightning coming out. Bloodlust putting in work. Nice purge on the Entangle. Torrens starting to get some damage in. And yeah, these MGs just not holding up. One already down. Farseer level 6. Will we see Earthquake? Or we do. He took Earthquake. Has a bat ready. Maybe just for some chip damage on the gold mine. And yeah, we might see an Earthquake coming out here, taking out some Moonwells. But Panikrocker does call the GG. A very nice turnaround from the first game. And I think it was a lot due to Panikrocker not having a Demon Hunter this time. The early game was definitely in Panikrocker's favor, even though he detonated a lot of wisps. But I think he forgot that he can just purchase a shredder, and he really should have done that much sooner, because he already had the lab cleared right next to his base, and a shredder would have helped the elf a lot there. Instead, he had to stay tier 2 for a long time, reproduce like 6 or 7 wisp or something. Yeah, he just didn't get his army strength up after that for quite a while. And then when he finally fought, ended up getting some archers picked off as he was running away, losing his TP as well, and just didn't get done as much as he would have liked. Okay. We have standard build from our elf, looking to creep the small orange. And our orc player going headhunter build again. I assume also Farseer again. Yeah, Panikrocker does realize what was the problem, and that's him losing all his wisps. And losing your wisps against a Farseer is pretty brutal. You really want to hit your tech timings as fast as possible, and it's hard to do that if you're low on wood harvesters. Yeah. But yeah, we do see a Farseer and a barracks now coming out. Warmill was a bit soon. You really want the Warmill and barracks to typically finish around the same time, because you don't really need the Warmill sooner than that, but not a huge deal.
Under attack.
Our elf looking to creep. He is going back to the Demon Hunter, so maybe maybe in response to seeing the Farseer Headhunters twice in a row and it doing pretty decent against the Keeper, now he wants to go back and just get some mana burns off. Definitely can be a quite effective choice here. Ring of Protection is actually, in my opinion, pretty strong against this sort of lineup of Farseer Headhunters, because your Demon Hunter is oftentimes going to take a lot of damage as he goes in up front trying to get burns off. So minimizing that damage through armor can be pretty strong actually. Our elf player getting his tech off in a quite good timing here, and I believe he produced one extra wisp as well, which is actually quite nice in case he loses one or needs to deto one.
A town is under siege.
Yeah, BurrowRush trying to just do what he can. Will get burned here, but yeah, wolves continue to be sent in. Headhunters rallied here now that there's no keeper to worry about. Doesn't need to move this away. Panikrocker does get the XP off that one. And one more wolf will get him level 2, which is definitely scary. Panikrocker actually opting to change it up this time, putting in a second Ancient of War. I think I've tried something like this before myself, and it worked kind of poorly. But with BurrowRush going dual barracks, it might actually be the right call. Because it's not a tier 3 tech into Berserker. It's like more likely to be some sort of rush, especially with this proxy shop setup. And I'm not sure if this Wisp had scouted in and spotted that, or if he just felt maybe a second Ancient War would help a lot. But yeah, BurrowRush is, however, adding in grunts, which can be pretty powerful here, especially if he's going for some sort of tower push. It is nice to have a couple grunts up front to both kind of block off and deal some good normal damage against units that try to cancel his towers. But we shall see if it is a tower rush. I'm not quite sure yet. Looking to eat a tree. A little risky with the orc right here. He might actually be able to kill this. It will cost him a bit though. This one grunt dropping quite low. Might even get picked off. It's not microed right away. Does lose the grunt. Ancient War does get taken down though. However, I'm not sure if BurrowRush has realized that there is a second Ancient War already made in the back. So he might be thinking he's in a better position than he is. There are also already 4 archers and a level 2 demon, so not the easiest spot for an orc player yet, but it is going to likely be a mass tier 1 tower push. I believe we should see some peons marching across soon. Soon, probably. But yeah, speed scrolling in. Not sure if the speed scroll is necessary, but he does have a dust here and picks off just one archer. Almost a second. Forces some Moonwell usage. This isn't exactly the right timing for our orc though. Elf has already reached tier 2, has his alchemist second, and he has not brought his peons yet to start building towers. Grunt's doing a decent job tanking, but a little too little damage for our orc so far. And these elf heroes are starting to get pretty high up. We got the demon getting level 2.7, pretty close to 3. And once that demon is 3, you just don't have mana anymore, and you won't have mana to do much of anything the rest of the game. So not looking great for our orc side. Does get another couple grunts, another couple headhunters also queued. Still needs to really commit here soon though. I think he's kind of missing his timing. Now it is daytime, or about to be daytime, and 1 well is drained, 2 wells are pretty lowish. So there is still quite a... Oh, well, that's not good though. There is still quite a bit of time during day where the elf simply will not have much for healing. So if BurrowRush can find the proper timing, our orc player can still be in this. However, this... I don't think he needs to be really committing to these fights. He does have enough grunts now to actually threaten the archers, but these elf heroes are doing a lot of work. Getting, I believe, 2 pickoffs already on headhunters, plus the one that died to the dragon. So not ideal for our orc player BurrowRush. Now... I still would like him to start bringing in his peons at some point, and I don't... Oh, he did bring in a couple here. Here they are. The peon force has arrived. One tower going up. Alchemist did kind of get low, so he could drain the Moonwells a lot. But I'm not sure if this Orc army is tanky enough to allow these towers to get up. And even if the towers do get up, there might only be like a Farseer left that is weak, and the Demon Hunter might be able to just kind of take out the towers by himself. So, not looking great for our Orc side. Still some potential for the towers to get up and for something to happen, but it's looking rough. I think our elf player may have done it. He's got a decent hold here, only a few grunts left. Farseer salving up in the back. There is towers up, but a Demon Hunter that has access to a shop, as well as 3 archers still alive, should probably be able to hold this in the long run. There is a couple reinforcements for the Orc now though, so it is always possible that the elf missed micros here and takes a bit too much damage from these towers. Good choice by BurrowRush to go for the shop. I think getting rid of the shop is one of the biggest things he can do here. However, with its positioning, it's actually a little bit hard to commit to it because it's far away from his towers. We do see a tower cancel coming out here. His other towers do not have reinforced defenses either, so they're a bit vulnerable to the heroes and archers right now. The Siege Club actually doing kind of pathetic because of it being heavy armor rather than fortified. And yeah, these towers putting in some damage against the MG. Might be better to target the DH. I think he actually switched it there for a second. But yeah, we need some more reinforcements from our Orc player, and I'm just not sure if he has enough to call anything in. There won't be a second hero. He's still tier 1. And our elf's Demon Hunter is looking a bit too strong here. Still with access to the shop and with some health potions, he should be able to handedly hold this off. BurrowRush does call the GG, and Panikrocker has taken it 2-1. I totally forgot to update the score, but yeah, Panikrocker 2-1 BurrowRush. And I think the Demon Hunter was just too much for BurrowRush. It can definitely be very strong against Farseer. You got to be very careful with losing too much mana, and you got to find the time to somehow safely like steal creeps and just kind of deny the demon from getting level 3. But didn't quite work out. Demon got like 2.5 fairly quickly, and BurrowRush was still I believe below level 2 or just reaching level 2 when the Alchemist came out. It was just quite rough for our Orc player to really fight that off. Maybe the towers as well could have been a bit sooner. I think there was an option for BurrowRush to bring his peons a bit quicker over, but otherwise yeah, Demon Hunter definitely can be a deterrent to Farseer play. You have to be very careful with positioning at all times. Yeah, Panikrocker takes the 2-1.